Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the SmackDown review. SmackDown tonight was from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, here in New York. And they did two shows for tonight. Of course, they did SmackDown live tonight, and they are doing a taped SmackDown, which is going to air next week because Crown Jewel is next Saturday. So I think they did the double tape in tonight at Barclays Center for SmackDown. But SmackDown tonight, it was a very good show tonight and very enjoyable as well. We crowned new tag team champions in the Motor City Machine Guns, and they have defeated Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, which was the main event of the show tonight. And Motor City Machine Guns end up beating DIY, Johnny Organo, and Tommaso Ciampa to be the number one contenders for the titles, which we also saw. We also had Naomi. She ended up taking on Candice LeRae. And we had Andrade versus Carmelo Hayes, Game 7, in their best of 7 matches. To which the ending I'll get to explaining. But overall, SmackDown, very good show tonight. Very enjoyable. But if you guys haven't checked out my previous video, I did a movie review of Demon Seed. And if you all didn't check out that review, definitely, give it a watch. But thought the film was okay. Not perfect or great by any means, though. But like I said, if you haven't checked out my review of it, definitely give it a watch. But anyway, let's jump right into the review. SmackDown opened up tonight with Randy Orton. Randy Orton was shown walking backstage, and he went into gorilla position. And he stopped at Triple H. Triple H, of course, had his headset on. And Orton was telling Triple H something which we couldn't hear. So Orton and Triple H appeared to have a disagreement on what Orton was telling Triple H. So Orton ended up walking down to the ring. So Orton got to the ring. He got on the mic. He ended up saying that he has been doing everything he can to get his hands on Kevin Owens. But he ended up saying that Owens is off limits. Orton went up to say that last week, Nick Aldis told him that he can't give him a match against Kevin Owens. Orton ended up saying that if he didn't know any better, he would think Triple H was protecting Kevin Owens from him. So Randy Orton was just assuming that Triple H is protecting Kevin Owens. So that brought out Triple H. Triple H was shown getting up from his seat in gorilla position, and he ended up coming out. Triple H ended up getting into the ring. He ended up saying that he would have preferred not to do it out there. But since Orton can't seem to show up to work on time, they will do it now. So Orton ended up saying to Triple H that everyone knows he is protecting Kevin Owens from him. Triple H ended up going on to say to Orton that he is not protecting anyone and that he is trying to just do his job. So Orton was just questioning Triple H on whether Triple H is protecting Kevin Owens. Because Orton was like to Triple H, oh, admit it. You're trying to protect Kevin Owens from me. So Triple H ended up telling Orton that the match is not going to happen. So Orton kept going to Triple H saying, oh, just admit it. You're protecting Kevin Owens. So Triple H ended up telling Orton that he is not protecting Kevin Owens and that he is trying to protect Orton. So Triple H ended up saying that Kevin Owens has never had a friend in this business, and he took down everyone that was near him. Triple H then ended up telling Orton that he knows what that is like. But for the first time ever, Owens let his guard down. Triple H ended up saying that he trusted Orton and also Cody Rhodes. Triple H then ended up telling Orton that in Owens' mind, they turned on him. Triple H then ended up telling Orton that he spoke to Kevin Owens, and there is something different in his eyes. Triple H ended up saying that Kevin Owens is not the same Kevin Owens, and Triple H ended up saying that he does not want to put Owens in the ring with Orton. So he ended up telling Orton that he just came back after 18 months on the shelf. He ended up saying that he didn't tear his ACL or blow his shoulder out. Triple H ended up saying that Orton had steel rods put in his back, and he just got him back, and he doesn't want Orton back on the shelf. So Orton ended up telling Triple H that isn't going to happen. And Orton was like, oh, I didn't ask Paul Levesque to come down to the ring. I did not ask the COO of a multi-billion-dollar company. Randy Orton ended up saying that he wanted the game, the guy who wore a leather jacket down to the ring, the guy who came to his home with a sledgehammer and beat him up at his home. And I really like that they reference that moment when Triple H ended up coming to Randy Orton's house with the sledgehammer, and it was a home invasion segment that was on Monday Night Raw in 2009, which that was one of my favorite moments on Monday Night Raw, where Triple H ended up, coming to Orton's house, and they had that brawl, in Orton's house. And that was when Orton was still with Legacy with Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase Jr., which, we don't want to talk about Ted DiBiase Jr. So Orton ended up saying that's the Triple H who he wants in the middle of the ring to hear him out. So Orton ended up asking Triple H what he would do if he was in his shoes. And Orton was like, this is not the old him, being impulsive. He knows what is at stake more than everybody. And he ended up saying, Triple H knows more than everybody what it is like to have it taken away from you. So Orton ended up asking Triple H to give him Kevin Owens at Crown Jewel. So Triple H ended up looking at Orton. Triple H ended up saying that he hopes to God they know what they are asking for. So Triple H ended up telling Orton, you have Kevin Owens at Crown Jewel. So Triple H ended up telling Orton that from this moment forward, he suggests he protects himself at all times. So Triple H then dropped the mic and he left the ring. And that was how the segment ended. But overall, I thought this was a very good opening to SmackDown here. Orton saying that, he wants to get his hands on Kevin Owens because Kevin Owens ended up attacking him. So, but we're getting the match at Crown Jewel. Should be a good match there. It was good to see Triple H, come out there and be in the ring with Orton. Of course, they were, a part of Evolution together, along with Ric Flair and Batista. So, and I really liked the reference that they made, with the home invasion segment, on Monday Night Raw back in 2009. So I like that little touch there. But good segment it was. And then as SmackDown came back from the commercial, we had the first match of the night. Andrade versus Carmelo Hayes. This was Game 7 in their best of 7 matches. LA Knight was the special guest referee of the match here. And this was a enjoyable, good match here. But the ending, I'm like, man, very anticlimactic it was. And I'll get to explain it. So the match got underway. Andrade delivered a clothesline onto Carmelo Hayes. Andrade went for the cover. Hayes kicked out. We had Andrade end up chopping at Hayes' chest. and he delivered some kicks to Hayes in the corner, but Knight ended up breaking that up. Hayes then ran to the ropes. He ended up going for a springboard, but Andrade threw Hayes over the top rope. Andrade ended up running to the ropes, but Knight stopped Andrade. So Knight began to count to 10 because Hayes was on the outside. And this was a good spot here where Knight was beginning to count to 10, and Andrade jumped over Knight, and he landed a splash onto Hayes on the outside. And that was really awesome. That was a good spot there. So SmackDown went to commercial. Then when SmackDown came back from the commercial, we saw Andrade end up hitting a inverted Spanish fly off the second rope to Hayes, which was great. Andrade then delivered some right hands to Hayes. He ended up running to the ropes, but Hayes ended up delivering a spinning face buster to Andrade. Hayes went for the cover, and Andrade ended up kicking out. Hayes ended up going for a suplex, but Andrade blocked it. So we had Andrade ended up going for the message, but Carmelo blocked that, and Andrade landed a destroyer. Andrade then ended up landing the double knees in the corner to Hayes. He went for the cover, and Hayes ended up kicking out. And when Hayes kicked out, he tossed Andrade onto LA Knight, to which that pissed off Knight. Hayes ended up rolling Andrade up, but Knight didn't even see it. Andrade ended up going for a kick onto Hayes, but Hayes moved out of the way. Hayes ended up going for a super kick onto Andrade, but he ended up hitting Knight by accident. So Knight rolled to the outside. Andrade ended up going for the Three Amigos to Hayes, but Andrade ended up only landing 2. So Hayes delivered the cutter onto Andrade, and Knight was still on the outside. And Knight ended up grabbing Hayes, and he threw Hayes onto the commentary table. Knight got back into the ring. Andrade ended up going for a right hand, but Knight ended up ducking, and Knight ended up hitting Andrade with the BFT. Hayes got back into the ring. Knight ended up hitting Hayes with the BFT. So Knight ended up going to the outside. He rang the bell. He got on the mic. He ended up saying, "There is a pile of losers in the ring, and the only man standing, the winner of Game 7, saying his name, L.A. Knight, yeah." So LA Knight's music ended up hitting, and he left the ring, and the match ended in a no contest. Very anticlimactic ending it was. But like I said, good match up until the end there. And the ending to this match comes into play here as SmackDown came back from the commercial. So now we saw Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax. This was shown earlier in the day. Tiffany Stratton ended up asking Nia Jax what she can do. Nia ended up saying that she needed someone to get rid of Naomi for her. And Tiffany Stratton ended up saying that she can do it. To which Nia ended up telling Stratton, "Oh, I already found somebody." So Nia ended up finding Candice LeRae. So Candice LeRae will take Naomi out later on. So in came Candice LeRae. Candice ended up telling Stratton that she can stay there and she will handle Naomi. So pretty much that was basically that. Set up for Candice LeRae and Naomi. And then as SmackDown came back from the commercial, we saw LA Knight. Knight was backstage. Nick Aldis ended up coming up to Knight. He ended up asking Knight what that was. With him delivering the BFT to both Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. So Nick Aldis ended up telling Knight, since he wants to make himself the center of attention, he is now in a triple threat match against both Andrade and Carmelo Hayes at Crown Jewel. So it's going to be a triple threat match, LA Knight versus Andrade versus Carmelo Hayes at Crown Jewel with the United States Championship on the line. And that's why I said the end of Andrade versus Carmelo Hayes, here, tied in to this, with LA Knight saying that the winner of Game 7, LA Knight, yeah. And then we had Naomi versus Candice LeRae. Candice LeRae was accompanied by Indy Hartwell, and this was a very meh match here. Didn't care for it. Match got underway. Candice LeRae locked in the armbar on Naomi, but Naomi ended up rolling out of it. Naomi delivered a kick and a leg drop onto Candice's neck. To which I forgot to mention, Candice is now the Speed champion. I mean, who watches Speed every Wednesday on Twitter, on X? I highly doubt any of you watch Speed. So Naomi ended up going for the cover. Candice ended up kicking out. Candice rolled to the ring apron, and also Naomi did. Candice ended up slamming Naomi face first onto the ring apron. And so SmackDown went to commercial. Then when SmackDown came back from the commercial, Candice was in control of the match. She delivered a modified headlock on Naomi, but Naomi ended up getting to her feet, and she threw Candice onto the ring apron. Naomi delivered a kick to Candice, and she slammed Candice head first onto the canvas. She then delivered a drop kick to Candice, which was followed up by a bulldog. Naomi then delivered a springboard kick off the second rope. She went for the cover, and Candice ended up kicking out. So at the end of the match, we had Candice end up running to the ropes. Naomi delivered a kick to Candice's head. So the ref was distracted by Candice. Indy Hartwell ended up getting involved, and she threw Naomi into the ring post. And this led to Bayley running down to the ring. Of course, Bayley is best friends with Naomi. So Bayley ran down. She threw Indy into the ring apron. Candice was distracted by that, and Naomi ended up locking in a modified full Nelson. She ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Naomi ended up winning the match. Overall, very meh match it was. Obviously, Naomi was going to get the win. And then as SmackDown came back from the commercial, we had a face-to-face between Cody Rhodes and Gunther. So Cody Rhodes ended up coming out first. And of course, we had the crowd going, whoa! They had to get their woes in. So Cody came into the ring. He was making his entrance on the second rope. And his music got cut off by Gunther. So the ring general ended up coming out. So Gunther got into the ring. Both him and Cody ended up standing in the ring with the Crown Jewel Championship. It was on a platform. And I'm like, they're giving the Crown Jewel title this prestige where they have it in a case and there's these three guys with, white gloves, guarding it like it's some sort of, great prestige title. It's going to go away after somebody wins it at Crown Jewel for the men and the women. After Crown Jewel, that belt is going to be forgotten about until next year's Crown Jewel. So, Gunther got on the mic. He ended up asking Cody what he wants to talk about. Gunther ended up saying that he wants to talk about Cody first. He ended up saying that it was unnecessary to mention his daughter last week. He ended up saying that the Crown Jewel title has nothing to do with his daughter. And it has everything to do with champion against champion. He ended up telling Cody that at WrestleMania, Cody finished his story and for the legacy of his father, the late great Dusty Rhodes. Gunther ended up saying that Cody wants to be the quarterback and that he wants that John Cena schedule just to live up to someone else's standards. Gunther ended up saying that he thinks he is doing all this to make things a little more dramatic than they really are. Gunther then ended up saying that he is the greatest professional wrestler in the company, and his reason for all this is to live up to himself. So Gunther ended up telling Cody to imagine everyone not in the building, just them. So Gunther ended up saying that he wants to know Cody's real reason, why he wants to do all of this. So Cody got on the mic. He ended up telling Gunther, oh, for a man as well dressed in a double-breasted suit and OP on his wrists, that was the dumbest question he has been asked in a professional wrestling ring. So Cody ended up telling Gunther, none of this exists without all the fans. He ended up saying that Gunther had the nerve to take away their woes during his entrance. So Cody then ended up counting to 3 because he was like, oh, let's all give a whoa. So Cody ended up counting to 3. Of course, the fans went, whoa! So Cody ended up asking Gunther where he was yesterday, because he was in Las Vegas doing the media rounds and talking about WrestleMania. Which, by the way, have you guys seen those outrageous ticket prices for WrestleMania in Vegas this year? I saw for a floor seat, it was like $15,000 for one ticket. And in total, when you add up the fees and stuff, it's like $20,000 in total for a floor seat for WrestleMania in Vegas this next year. So Cody ended up saying all of that prestige, but Gunther is missing the giant responsibility that comes with being a champion. So Gunther ended up telling Cody to look at his title, the World Heavyweight Championship. Gunther ended up saying that he is the workhorse champion of the company. He ended up saying that he knows everything about responsibility. He ended up saying that he gets the same requests as Cody does. The difference is that he just tells them no, because he has the guts to say no to the boss, no to any media requests, to any charity. And he especially has the guts to say no to the fans in the arena, to which that got boos from the crowd. So Gunther ended up telling Cody that the reason why he doesn't say no is because if Cody stops being the servant, his little story is over. And Gunther ended up saying that makes Cody a gutless champion. And he ended up saying that a gutless champion will always be secondary to him. So Cody was like, oh, well, people call Gunther a ring general. Cody ended up saying that Gunther commands no one, and that he leads no one, and he wants to mention guts. He ended up saying everything he does is about guts. So Cody ended up hitting Gunther with some right hands. He just started beating Gunther down. And in came Ludwig Kaiser. Kaiser ended up hitting Cody from behind. Gunther ended up grabbing Cody. And Kaiser started hitting Cody with some right hands. And that brought out Randy Orton. Randy Orton ran to the ring. And both Gunther and Kaiser ended up sliding out of the ring. Wanted nothing to do with Orton. So Orton then ended up lifting Cody's undisputed WWE Championship. And he gave it to Cody. And pretty much that was basically that. But overall, very good segment. This was. Gunther ended up, just laying it down on Cody here. But this will be a good match at Crown Jewel between Cody and Gunther. And then we went backstage. We saw Nick Aldis, Adam Pearce, and Ava. Of course, Adam Pearce, general manager of Monday Night Raw. Ava, the general manager of NXT. And they ended up announcing that Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill will defend their Women's Tag Team Championships in a Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. Oh, great. I'm so excited. Yeah. Who was excited for this? And then, as SmackDown came back from the commercial, we had the Motor City Machine Guns. We had Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. They made their debut last week on SmackDown, and really enjoy their theme music and their entrance. I think it's badass for them. But they ended up taking on DIY, Johnny Gargano, and Tommaso Ciampa. This was a number one contenders match for the tag team titles. The winners will face Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa for the titles. And this was a good match here. This is Motor City Machine Gun's second match on SmackDown. So the match got underway. We had Alex Shelley and Johnny Gargano start off the match first. Both guys delivered some reversals. Ciampa ended up taking himself in. We had Shelley end up locking in the armbar on Ciampa, but Ciampa delivered an elbow to Shelley's face. Shelley went to the ropes, and Chris Sabin ended up tagging in. So the Motor City Machine Guns ended up double teaming on Ciampa. Sabin ended up going for the cover, and Ciampa kicked out. Gargano was then tagged in, and DIY ended up double teaming on Chris Sabin. Gargano then delivered a drop kick to Sabin. He went for the cover, and Sabin ended up kicking out. Ciampa ended up taking himself back in, but Sabin ended up delivering an elbow to Ciampa's face. Ciampa got on the ring apron, and Alex Shelley ended up tripping Ciampa up. Gargano then delivered a spear onto Sabin. Shelley ended up grabbing Ciampa on the outside of the ring, but Ciampa ended up throwing Shelley into the barricade. And of course, he had, DIY end up doing the clap and the pat on the back. And SmackDown went to commercial. Then when SmackDown came back from the commercial, Chris Sabin was in control of the match. He delivered a crossbody off the top rope onto both DIY. Chris Sabin delivered a tornado DDT onto Ciampa. He then delivered a back elbow onto Gargano, and Alex Shelley ended up tagging in. The Motor City Machine Guns ended up double teaming on Ciampa with some kicks. Chris Sabin was then tagged back in. Ciampa then ended up tripping Shelley off the ring apron, and Gargano delivered a kick to Sabin. Ciampa was then tagged in. Ciampa ended up lifting Sabin up, and Gargano ended up delivering a kick to Sabin's face. Ciampa then delivered a running knee onto Sabin. He ended up going for the cover, and Sabin ended up kicking out. So at the end of the match, we had Gargano end up going for a super kick because Ciampa was holding up Chris Sabin, but Sabin ended up getting out of the way, and Gargano ended up hitting the super kick to Ciampa. And that led to Alex Shelley tagging in, and we had the Motor City Machine Guns end up hitting Gargano with some double super kicks. And they then end up landing their finisher, which is the Skull and Bones on Gargano. Shelley ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Motor City Machine Guns ended up winning the match, so they are the number one contenders for the Tag Team Championship. So, post-match, we had the Bloodline end up coming out. So then, SmackDown went to commercial. Then when SmackDown came back from the commercial, Nick Aldis was in the ring with the Motor City Machine Guns and the Bloodline. So Nick Aldis ended up telling them that this won't happen tonight. And Solo Sikoa ended up saying, there is no problem. So the fans were chanting OTC. They wanted to see Roman. And Solo Sikoa ended up telling the fans to shut up. Sikoa ended up saying that he wanted to come out and introduce themselves to the number one contenders. So Sikoa ended up telling the fans to acknowledge him. So Sikoa ended up welcoming the Motor City Machine Guns to SmackDown. He ended up telling the Motor City Machine Guns that he is their tribal chief. So Chris Sabin got on the mic. He ended up introducing himself and Alex Shelley. Chris Sabin ended up telling Sikoa that they are always ready, and when they want to hand them the tag team titles, they are ready. He ended up saying any place, anytime. So Solo Sikoa ended up telling the Motor City Machine Guns, since they are on SmackDown and want to make an impact, he ended up challenging them to a tag team match. So Nick Aldis ended up telling Solo Sikoa that the Motor City Machine Guns have sacrificed for years, and he won't let them have a match tonight. So Alex Shelley ended up interrupting Nick Aldis. He ended up telling Nick Aldis that those titles are the most important things for them, and if they want to do it right here and right now, they got it. So Nick Aldis ended up asking the crowd if that is what they want. So the crowd ended up popping for that, and Nick Aldis was like, let's have it. Get a referee out here. So we had the match, which was the main event. The Bloodline, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa versus the Motor City Machine Guns for the tag team titles. Very good match this was here. Good main event. So the match got underway. We had the Motor City Machine Guns end up throwing Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa to the outside of the ring. So the Motor City Machine Guns end up running to the ropes, but Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa got back into the ring, and they end up hitting the Motor City Machine Guns with drop kicks. And then SmackDown went to commercial. So as soon as the bell rang, we saw the Motor City Machine Guns throw the Bloodline to the outside, and Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa end up hitting them with drop kicks, and all of a sudden, to commercial. Yeah, so some good time to go to commercial, right? So then as SmackDown came back from the commercial, Tonga Loa delivered a power slam onto Alex Shelley. Both Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa end up climbing to the top rope, and they end up going for a double splash. But Shelley ended up moving out of the way. So Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa both hit the canvas. So Sikoa got on the ring apron, and we saw a man in a black hoodie. He dragged Solo Sikoa down, and he threw Solo Sikoa into the ring steps. And of course, it was revealed to be Jimmy Uso. So Jimmy Uso ended up hitting Jacob Fatu with a super kick. But Solo Sikoa ended up throwing Jimmy into the ring post. And Roman Reigns' music then ended up hitting. Roman Reigns ended up coming out. Jacob Fatu ended up running up the ramp, and Roman delivered a Superman punch to Jacob Fatu. Jimmy then delivered a right hand onto Solo Sikoa. So all four guys were fighting to the back, and Chris Sabin was tagged in. Chris Sabin climbed to the top rope, and he delivered a drop kick onto Tonga Loa. So he ended up going for a splash onto Tonga Loa, but Tonga Loa ended up grabbing the ref, and Chris Sabin ended up hitting a splash on the ref. So Tonga Loa ended up grabbing 2 steel chairs, and someone dressed in black ended up standing behind Tonga Loa. So that guy ended up hitting Tonga Loa with a super kick, and he threw Tonga Loa over the commentary table. He then hit Tama Tonga with a steel chair, and he also delivered a spear to Tama Tonga. And who was it? It was Mr. Yeet, Jey Uso. So Jey Uso loaded his bandana, and he threw the ref back into the ring. And the Motor City Machine Guns end up landing the skull and bones onto Tonga Loa, and they end up going for the cover, and there you go. The Motor City Machine Guns end up winning the match, and they are your new tag team champions. So in their third match tonight on SmackDown, they are already the tag team champions, since they debuted last week. So they debuted last week, and already their second week, they are the new tag team champions. That is how you book a tag team there. So we had the Motor City Machine Guns end up celebrating. They got pyro while they were on the other stage. and Jey Uso end up standing in the ring. Out came Jimmy Uso. So Jimmy Uso ended up making his way into the ring, and he stared at Jey Uso. And so we saw both Jimmy and Jey end up hugging each other. So the Usos are now back. The Usos are now reunited together. So Roman Reigns stood on the ramp, and he looked at what he saw, and that was how SmackDown went off the air. Overall, very good main event here. Motor City Machine Guns are your new tag team champions, and that is awesome. And you have also the Usos reuniting, and that's, what's going to kick off the Survivor Series War Games match, where it's going to be the old bloodline versus the new bloodline. That is your men's Survivor Series War Games match next month. And it's going to deliver. But overall, SmackDown, very good, entertaining show it was tonight. But anyway, that's it for the SmackDown review. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. Definitely give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and until next video, I'll see you all later. Bye.